Good day, everyone. I am Naomi Santos, and I'm from Group 2. And today, let us discuss the measures of central tendency, group and ungroup. Before we start, we must know the objectives for today's presentation. Number one, we need to differentiate the three measures of central tendency from each other. Second is to able to know when and how to compute for them. And last, we need to identify the significance of each measure. So let us proceed by discussing what are the measures of central tendencies. So measures of central tendencies are statistical tools used to identify the center or typical value within a dataset. And the three main measures are, first is the mean. It is the average of all values calculated by dividing the sum of all data points by the total number of points. It is sensitive to outliers. Median. It is the middle value when the data is arranged in ascending or descending order. If the dataset has an even number of values, it is the average of the two middle numbers, and it is less affected by outliers. For the last one, we have the mode, and it is known as the most frequently occurring value or values in the dataset. Take note that there may be no mode, one mode, or multiple modes.
Okay, so why are measures of central tendency important to learn? Central tendency measures are essential in psychology for analyzing complex data about human behavior and mental processes. The mean provides an average, helping identify trends like anxiety levels. The median helps understand central tendencies in skewed data like income levels or response times. The mode highlights common behaviors, providing insights into group typicality. These measures help psychologists identify patterns, compare groups, and draw meaningful conclusions about individual or collective experiences that are crucial for diagnosis, treatment planning, and understanding broader psychological phenomena.
Mean. The mean is one of the measures of central tendency, which are statistical methods or tools used to summarize a set of data with a single value that represents the center or typical value of the data. Specifically, the mean is calculated by adding up all the values in a dataset and then dividing the number of values, and it is often referred as a average. So when do we need to use and find the mean? The mean is a useful measure of central tendency when the data is approximately symmetrical distributed. The mean works well when the dataset doesn't have uh, extreme outliers or skewed values. In symmetrical distribution, for example, a normal distribution, the mean gives a good representation of the center of the data. You need to consider every data point, which means the mean takes into account every value in the dataset. So, so if so each data set or data point contributes equally to the analysis, the mean can provide a more complete summary of the data. Next is, so when do we compare the dataset? The mean allows for easy comparison between different datasets or groups, especially when they follow similar distribution. The data is always continuous. The mean is often more meaningful for continuous data, for example, height, weight, and temperature, than for discrete data where values are limited to certain categories or specific points. And the mean has no extreme outliers. The mean is sensitive to outliers. These are the values significantly higher or lower than the others. In in cases where outliers exist, the mean may be distorted. So It is best used when layers are minimal or do not significantly input the data. So, what is the significance of the mean? The mean is a crucial statistical measure that includes all data points, providing a balanced representation of the dataset. It is essential for interference in fields like economics, education, health, and business, enabling easy comparison between dataset and uh, forming the basis for advanced techniques like regression analysis.
So when using Excel application, it's actually easier because when finding the mean, the median, and the mode, it simplifies calculations, especially for large data sets, saving both time and effort. Okay, so the first measure of central tendency that we will be finding in the Excel app is the mean. So the mean is calculated using the average function, and the formula that is used is the equal sign, average, open parenthesis, range, close parenthesis. So there's actually an option there. You're just gonna click the average, the one that says average. And then the first step that you're going to do is to enter your data in a column. And then in another cell, you type in the formula. But before you press enter, you have to select all the cells that the data has been input to. And then Excel will return the mean of the data set. Okay, so we will be using this data set or this example to find the mean using Excel application. So of course you have to have your data set in a sheet, and then we will be, of course, typing in the equal sign, and then average. So there's actually options here. You just have to click the average, and then you select all the cells that the data has been inputted to, and then you type enter, and then it gives you the mean of the data set, which is 64.225.
This is SPSS application for graph data of the mean. Step 1. Open SPSS. Create a new data file or create a existing one. Step 2. Input data. In the data view tab, create a new column labeled scores or any relevant variable name. Step 2, and enter the data values from the question or data set in the column. Our next step is step 3, compute the mean. Number 1, click on the Analyze menu in the top toolbar. Select the descriptive statistic, then descriptives. A new window will open. Select the variable, for example, the scores, in the left panel. Click the right arrow button to move it into the variable box. Next slide is step 4. Click on the option button. Please ensure that the mean is checked along with the other statistics. You might want to like standard deviation, minimum and maximum. Then press and click on continue. Then lastly, step 5, click OK, and then the result will come out.
Median. Median in statistics is the value that separates the dataset into two equal halves, where 50% of the data points are below the median and 50% are above it. It is a measure of central tendency that provides the middle value of a sorted dataset. When do we need to use and find the median? The median is used to determine the middle value of a dataset, while the median is used for non-symmetrical or skewed datasets to provide a better central measure. Outliers are present in extreme values, and the median focuses on the position of values rather than the numerical differences. In an even distribution with cluster or gaps, the median provides a clearer sense of dataset's center. Significance. Its significance lies in its ability to provide a reliable measure of central tendency, especially where the mean may not accurately represent the said dataset. Manual computation for ungrouped mean. First is add all the values in the dataset, and this gives you the total sum. Second is count the number of data points in the dataset. Third is divide the total sum by the number of data points using the formula summation of x over n. Example, consider the dataset 5, 8, 12, 10, and 15. First is sum the values. 5 plus 8 plus 12 plus 10 plus 15 is equals to 50. Next is count the values. There are 5 data points, so 5. Third, divide the sum by the count. So 50 over 5 is equals to 10. So the mean is 10. Manual computation for ungrouped median. Ungrouped data consists of raw values without being organized into frequency distribution. Step 1. Sort the data in ascending order. Step 2. Determine the number of the observation. If n is odd, the median is the n plus 1 over 2 value. If n is even, the median is the average of n plus 1 over 2 and n1 plus n2 over 2 values. Example, the data are 8, 3, 7, 6, and 5. Now, step 1 is in ascending order. 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Number 2 is, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The n is 5 and it is odd. So the median is 5 plus 1 over 2. The answer for that is 3. So it is in the third value, which is 6. Manual computation for ungrouped mode. The dataset is 4, 6, 4, 8, 9, and 9. Step 1. List the data into ascending order or lowest to highest. And it will be 4, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 9. Step 2. Count the frequencies. And 4 appears 2 times, 6 appears 1 time, 8 appears 1 time, and 9 appears 2 times. Identify the modes. 4 and 9 both appears 2 times, which is the highest frequency. The dataset is bimodal with the modes 4 and 9. It is called bimodal because we have 2 modes.